day and welcome to yet another edition of Game Time with Marco. Thank you for joining us and thank you for the comments on our previous edition that we had for you. And we are back again with another Namibian football legend. This time around, we are doing what we promised to do, that is shining the spotlight on women's football. We have a former Gladiators vice captain who's joining us today to make sure that we go through a football journey. And also she's currently a club owner, a women's club owner, women football club owner, and the team will be participating, that is in the COSAFA women's club tournament that is taking place in South Africa as we speak. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Salome, good afternoon and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Marco, and it's lovely to be here. I trust the discussion are going to be insightful and exciting for the viewers and listeners out there.
Definitely, we are looking forward to getting as much information from you as possible regarding women's football. And first of all, congratulations for winning, that is the Women's FNB Super League title with your club, Beauties Football Club. Take us through that journey.
Thank you. Well received. I mean, it was not one of the easiest titles to win. It has been really a tough contender. All teams were putting up a good fight, but in the end, only one could win it, and we managed to do that. And we are just excited to say, look, we have done it so many times before, but these are new times, and we came to the party this time around, not just to talk about the Asian days that we have done it X number of times. It's been quite a number of years that we didn't test what we are used to, but at least we were the lucky ones this time around.
We'll come back to discuss that. Just to kick off our discussion, let's talk about you as a club owner right now. It didn't start now, it started way before. When did the football bug bite you?
Marco, this is a long journey. Yeah. It has been one of my longest journeys. Growing up in a household in the village full of boys, each time we had our moments to play as kids. Football was always the main sport that we would play. Hide and seek is others, but being the only eldest woman or girl in the house by then, as growing up among about 6 or 7 boys, the love of football came in. Every time they have a kick about with the ball, there were an odd number and I had to come in to make it equal. So I started playing football with them, and when you get tired, you get into goals, you come back, one of them get tired, you start dribbling them, and it became exciting. So when I went to high school, we started playing football at high school. We had the legends of the late Kaska Sangula, the Mandumes, who were playing for Shakati City by then. And we just started enjoying this at school because we would play touch. It's a kick ball that we used to play on a tennis court or a netball court at my primary school, International, that was. And when we moved over to high school and football became a game that we started engaging in. I've also done basketball as I was there. I've done athletics, long distance, usually the 800 meters and more. But then football just became the number one.
You can give Boma a run for your money at 800.
At 800, yes, not at 200. She's such a champion for 200. She's a cheater on the track.
Yeah.
But
which high school?
Yes.
By the way?
I was at Moshpandeka High School.
Okay.
Yes, and that is where we started playing. We had a small team of young girls. We called ourselves a very nice nickname. I will not reveal it here.
Why not?
But no, those days are gone. But I'm telling you, my love for football was much greater than that of the other sport codes. Because also in football we started traveling, and in other sport codes you just play when you are within the school boundaries, and it wasn't exciting as the others, because as a child, when you go out somewhere and you see a new place, you experience life outside, it became really something nice. So yes, that's where it started. I went over to my tertiary institution, which was Rundu College by then. We played college games. And the late Jeffrey picked me up to say, no, this girl, we need her. I think it was way back in 2003. actually the year that Beauties Football Club was formed. And he asked that I could attend some of my classes at Windu College just to continue pursuing my career in sport. He was one of that, a great man that would spot talent and want to nurture it. It doesn't matter where you come from. So I happened to benefit from that, to be engaged and train with other like type of athletes. And the rest is history, because by then I was exposed to seeing all the players in the capital city. I mean, it's not only something of back then, even today, for you to succeed. Many says you need to follow the great coaches and you need to be in an area where that sport is really dominant and is being played, and you can gain from the experience of these good coaches. So that's what I've done. I came up here, I remain, I attended some of my classes here. I made it into the national team, class of 2006. Immediately played the COSAFA finals. Of course, I'm a silver medalist of that. We lost the final to South Africa on extra time. And the same year I signed for Beauties.
We'll come back to you having to trek all the way from the north to Rundu, then from Rundu to here, just to see how things are balancing nowadays compared to then. But then, what were the challenges that you faced playing football? Remember, back then, as much as people were starting to accept women playing football, there was still that look that people give you, that why is that woman playing football, or why is that girl playing football? What were the challenges that you faced?
I'm from a liberal family type, I would say, because at my house, growing up in the village, as you may, with surrounded by grandmothers and aunties that have been in the village, we understood equality. And I was never discouraged to play football. As I said, this is something that started earlier with my cousins at home. And most of them were men. Of course, there were female cousins, but they were younger than me. I think I'm the second, third eldest female cousin among my peer in the family. So I was permitted to do that, even starting from the home chores. I would go and look after animals just like any other boy child would done it. So we have done all the work together. We have shared meals and chores together, boys and girls. And for me to pursue a career in sport, it was never an issue. I could only remember one time that Mr. Jeffrey would call me up to come and train with the Tisan team, and my mom would tell me, look, this is a time for field work in the village. You cannot go. And if you go, you are not coming back in this house. Your father and mother Tisan must take care of you for the rest of your life. So I had to tell the late Mr. Jeff, and he paid for my hike, and I came to Windhoek. The next thing, my mom is hearing on radio that from Maria, talking in the local Oshivambo radio to say the likes of Salome are the kids that are selected to represent Namibia. That's when she started calling. Oh, my daughter, you are there. Thank you. Please go and represent the country very well. But that was the only challenge. Other than that, for me, everything has been smooth. The support has been there. One of my aunties in Rundu that I would always go to would come and watch my games.
So you did get support from the family, even extended family?
Yes.
Okay. And then when you came to Windhoek and signed for Beauties, how was it? What the levels compared to what you were used to in Rundu and the Tisan?
I would tell you that I signed for Beauties the year it was established, way in the beginning of the year. Because Beauties was also formed in the beginning of the year, school calendar year, and once we played our first matches and I was picked up, and immediately I think it was Jackie Shipanga in Herze who approached me and said, please come and join us, and I agreed. For me, there was not much. Of course, the difference was that at the north we were just kids, a bunch of kids that loved to play together, which was exciting. Going to Rundu College, there was not a formal team. Myself, together with my colleagues, had to form the team to really show our seriousness and eagerness to play the game, because we were just eager. The passion was just there. Let's do it. And not so much comparison, because the only comparison you could tell here is leadership. On the other side, you have people that are guiding you when it comes to Beauties. And it was ourselves. We started ourselves. with the likes of Jackies, them who are seniors, and all of us mostly being around about the same age. But when I had to go back to my College of Education, I take that lead. I invite people, please, even if you can't play, just come in to the field. You get the ball, just kick it forward on my side where I am, I'll run and I'll get it. So I had to play all over to make sure that we succeed, because all we wanted was to form that team and be able to enjoy inter-house games and Tisan games.
And then now fast forward, you get your first national call-up. When was that and how did it feel?
Look, the first time I went, we were told, you are too young. We were called up, I think I remember Klenki, well known as Emerencia Fredericks, and myself were the smallest and shortest kids, and all other people looked a bit senior. And I was invited to come to the youth complex. We played well, of course. I've done my thing on the pitch, and we were told in the end, you are very good, but you are too young. These games are for big people, you need to go back. That was 2003. Then the following year, I got another call and I came up and I made it, and that's when we joined the COSAFA camp for us to go compete in the COSAFA Women Championship, and we emerged victorious, even though we lost the final.
Yeah. How was that feeling?
You know what, I think to tell you the truth, it was never done by a female team in this country. If you recall, last time Namibia played Nigeria before our era, I think they lost on aggregate 18-0. We came on board and we played our very first international competition, and we went all the way up to the final. Mr. Berry Rukoro by then was the SG. We had President John Mwinyo.
Yeah.
When they heard that, no, these girls have just qualified and they are following the proceedings, believe me, there were a lot of NFA executive officials, government that flew down to come and watch us play the final, because it had never happened. It was history in the making, and for us it was exciting to be there, to be at that level and just win, and everybody was looking at us, and out of so many countries, other teams were left behind. So it's a feeling that I still have today, to say, having achieved that and gone to that level with the first training session of or camp of the national team, what if this opportunity was accorded to us at age 15 or under 15, 17 and 20? Perhaps we could have gone far. Fast forward, coming back from COSAFA Women's Championship, I think we played the qualifiers, and we had to play Nigeria again. Commersdal Stadium, and by then they have played, I think, the previous team in Kietmans, which was a score of 18-0. Half-time, Namibia versus Nigeria, the toughest Nigeria that you know. It was 0-0. And they couldn't believe it, because they knew that this is a walkover. This is the team that we have just beaten.
Yeah,
so let us go and collect our points.
That 18-0.
Believe me, they came there and they are just on the field. Father God, what happened? There's no way. Why couldn't we score? And it's not to say we were just defending. We came knocking on their door. I was striking in that match. And we lost it 3-1 in the end. Of course, we couldn't hold it. But again, it's a remarkable effort to move from 18-0 to a 0-0 half-time and to lose it 3-0.
There was progress.
It is progress.
Yeah. And when let's talk about the COSAFA final. When you guys played at the COSAFA final, were you aware of what you had done at that particular moment in time, in terms of creating history, in terms of inspiring the next generation of the Salomes, the Chekis and the Klenikis?
Of course, we knew, because upon coming back, everything started falling into place. Back in the days, even going to COSAFA, we were just those kids who were told, do it for your nation and do it for yourself, and thank you very much and go home. This was the nature of football. We didn't demand like the kids of nowadays who finish playing and they are demanding for money. We did it for the love of the nation. We did it for the badge that we were wearing. And as we came back, we were given that platform for us to tour the whole nation, to go and play against every regional team. Teams must form up their women's regional team. We tour around and play and be able to capture talent that we are seeing, so that the progress can continue. And that's when we also saw the likes of Mami Werikonjera Kasauna and many other players.
Okay, interesting. Now, you have created this platform, and everybody in the country is now recognizing you in terms of what you have achieved. At the back of your mind, are you thinking of, let me take this serious, let me take football serious? I know you are studying to be a teacher, but also with football, you're saying, let me take this serious and see where it takes me.
Definitely. I had a lecturer of sports or human movement, that you call it, at Rundu College, by the name Tino Haingura. Everybody knows him very well. And he's one gentleman that will sit down with me and say, Salome, I'm doing this course. I think it was a CIS course by then at university in South Africa, and would always force me to do it, but I didn't have the resources to do that, and whatever bursary you apply for, you don't get it. Because he sat down with me and told me, you know, you could go much further, you could become this, you could do that if you do this. And for me, yes, I've taken it very serious, and so are many other players in the team, as we have been a very great group. And if you look at where people are today, most people are either working in sport or they are still connected to sport. They have never left it. So they are giving back to the game. The likes of Helvi, Queen Manga, you know, they are all still around. And those that are not in it, they are still involved in a different role or different manner, even if they are not attached to the NFA. And some are still playing. Look at the likes of Stella Williams.
Yeah.
For me, the most talented legend that we ever had, because with Stella, you can play her in any position. And these people have been guiding us, and she was that striker that you would get advice from. And it's something I admire that she still does it today. So, yes, the seriousness has been there. And that is what brought an individual like me at the level where I've been. It took me through the journey of my life that I have done, because it has always been connected to sports. I mean, I'm a teacher by calling. I couldn't teach for many years. I taught for 2.5 years and I quit. Where did I go? I joined sports.
And you don't have regrets?
Not at all. I will always go back to my calling when that time calls.
When that time calls, yeah. And then now you finish school, you start teaching, and then after 2 years you decide, no, I'm taking this direction. Where did you go after that?
You know, my first job that I got, I think the third day after graduating, I got a call from my primary school, international primary school in Ongwediva, that no, there's a temporary vacancy here, you could come and start. They also knew who I was and what I could do on the pitch, so I started. I tried to form a football team, but I was only there for a short period of time, 3 months.
Yeah.
So then I applied for a job in Windhoek because I wanted to be close to my team. Because playing for Beauties when I was in Rundu, I would hike every weekend on my own. Trucks, buses, please say, give me a lift, I need to go play a match. That's how tough it was.
Yeah.
Because there was no resources to share and to make things happen. Everybody have to do it, and that love forced me to do it. And being in the north as a teacher, and every day you have homeworks of learners to mark and lesson plans to prepare, it was not very easy. So I applied for a job at Seiderhof Primary School, again a temporary position. So I got accepted. I worked there for a few months as well, until I got another job at Academia Secondary School. Now at Academia, you know, the people were a bit older, grade 8 to 12. It was easier for me to form a team, which I have done, and would play the Coca-Cola Schools Championship that we used to play a league. I remember very well my colleague Helvi Eliakim was teaching at Centaurus, and would always have our teams play against each other. We are teammates at Beauties, and then at work, she have to coach her team, I need to coach my team. So all this just became exciting. Again, at Academia, I couldn't stay for long. I think I went there in year 2007. 2008, August, I left. I applied for a position at Ministry of Youth and Sports, and I was fortunate. I must tell you that when I applied for this job, I was not listed for interviews. So I decided to write to the private secretary. By then they were called private secretaries.
Okay.
Not EDs.
Permanent secretaries,
permanent secretaries, what is now known as ED. Forgive me for that.
Yeah.
So I think it was Mr. Pengonjabi Shipo.
Yes.
So I went there. I've written to them and they did not give me feedback. So I decided I'm going to sit there until he sees me because I need an appointment. I am qualified. Why am I not listed and why? I needed to know. So I went in there when I was given an opportunity after sitting for about 2-3 hours, and he told me, I understand, my child, but as we just keep applying, don't give up. I went back home. Next time I saw some adverts, I applied again, 3-4 positions, and I happened to be called for an interview. And I got a position and I started working as a regional youth officer in Okahanja, that's a Jupa region. And that's where at least I spent 10 good years of my life, and there was no sport officers when we opened the office. I opened that office of the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So I was permitted then to do both because I told him, look, I have a love for sport. I'm doing youth development work, but I would love to do both. And he said, you know what, for as long as there's something, you can assist us and do this because in your district, we don't have a sport officer. Yes. So I was enjoying doing both, and then I started running youth leagues, became a basketball secretary for the region. I became a coordinator for Girls and Girls Youth Leagues, running football leagues around, and not just in Okahanja, but I would run in Okahanja and still go and seek for talent in all other places on my own. So the rest is history. I was able to sign a lot of players to make an addition to the regional team, and would always go and play national championship under a region of Ochozonjupa. Yes.
And then 10 years later, you decide again, no, I think I've done my part here, I've played my role. What was next?
I think 10 years later, by then I've attended a lot of FIFA CAF courses that were offered through the Football Association. I've met a lot of FIFA experts and CAF experts that would come and deliver these courses. I continue being in touch with Mr. Tino Haingura and others, and I've learnt about the FIFA Master. So what happened while I was there, I applied, I didn't get in the first year, and I applied again the following year, and I got in. So when I got in to get a bursary, for me it was an opportunity of a lifetime for me to go and how do you call it? I needed to specialize in sport. I am a teacher who finished college. Of course, I went further to do my degree with Potchefstroom while I was still working. But then I needed to specialize in sport because that's the space I've taken up. Yeah. And while being there, I've also tried to apply for some sport positions, and I really just wanted to be a sport officer by then because what I had was youth, and I need to move to the next directorate, which is sport, and I couldn't get in. I remember going with Timo Chongarelo to the same interview for the senior sport officer by then. So fast forward, I got into the FIFA Master. I needed to resign and go to school because it was full-time. It was not really the aim to resign, but I needed the funds because nobody was going to pay for my accommodation in Europe. My bursary was only covering the tuition fee. And when you look at all the items that were itemized for me to say, you need to have X amount of money, you need this and this and this, that there are some field trips that you need to undergo, I couldn't do it financially. So I needed to resign and get my pension fund for 10, 12 years.
So you used your pension fund to fund your master's program at FIFA?
Definitely.
Where was the course?
Everything is an investment.
Yeah. Where was the course?
So my course was in Europe. It was held in 3 different universities in 3 different countries.
And you have to take care of yourself?
You have to take care of your accommodation, meals, and all other related field trips for the studies. And every now and then you would travel the world, you travel Europe, just to go for this type of items.
Okay. And when you come back?
Maybe before I came back, it was not quite easy. I was also lucky to say. I applied for a position at Sports Commission. And I felt if I get it, I work for a few months, it's going to add something to my pocket while I still wait for my pension fund to be resolved at GIPF. So I got in as a development officer, of course, and the time I went for interview, I asked about study opportunities. You know, they always ask you, do you have any question? I say, oh, yes, please, I do have. I want to know about your policies on further studies, because I went through them and it doesn't speak much about it. It only talk about 3-4 months, and I needed to go for a year. So when they told me that I got a position, I went to the office to sit down. I made an appointment. I really need to discuss something. So I had to reveal that, no, I am accepted to go and do this master. It's something I don't want to lose. And anyway, this is, for me, this is specializing in sports. And since I'm specializing in sport, I want to know whether you will afford me the opportunity to go, because it's something that is very dear to my heart. If you say no, then I will not take the position. So it was then I was assured to say, no, we do understand and we'll accord you that opportunity. For us, we want you and we just want you to start. If you could sign, it will be good, and we'll sort those things as we work. It was not written.
So it was a gentleman's agreement?
It was a verbal agreement, but in law, it is an agreement. Of course, I penned down the acceptance of the given position, and I commenced with my new job. I worked for 5 months, and when it was time to go, because this agreement wasn't written, it almost caused some misunderstandings. But in the end, I was given the blessings to go, and by then I had my items. You know, I've also sold some of my furniture just to make sure that I have enough cash when I leave. If you compare a pound to Namibian dollars, it was something that was really tough. So I was given blessings by both the chief administrator, the board, and I left. So I arrived in New England, a nation that we know that is good at marketing football. And upon arrival, I was told, oh, welcome. And I looked around, everybody else is white, and I'm the only black person that is sitting on the table. So we introduced ourselves, and I was told, oh, I'm from where? I'm from here, I have double nationalities. Oh, where are you from? No, I'm from Africa. So they laughed, oh, Africa that never hosted the World Cup, never hosted. I said, no, please. We held one in South Africa in 2010. Yeah, I never, hosted Olympics. What do you bring to class? Because you must always give your experience. Where did you work? What about the entire Africa continent? So it was not very easy for me, and we were told that the first task that we have is to go and witness a football match. It was between, I think it was England and Switzerland playing in Leicester. So
the men's team.
The men's team. Now, for this type of things, you need to pay for your ticket. And when I had to go back to my room, I always take my calculator and do the conversion. It was pricey. It was very pricey. Can't I miss this and just watch it on TV because it's there? But you had to be there. So life goes on. I enjoyed my time. Had a hard time defending Africa, being the only person that needed to defend. But then you realize that a lot of these individuals, they talk, they've traveled the world, but they've only been within the zone of Europe, wherever they are. So I only had one or two that have ever made it out of Europe to come to Africa. So I started studying them and understanding and knowing and really pushing my African agenda and just trying to defend my mother continent. But all in all, it went well, especially when I beat them in class in terms of assignments and what have you. I put it up and I say Africa is rich, because I could even speak my Rukwangali, I could speak my Oshivambo, I could try my Herero there, Afrikaans, and I tell them this is why Africa is so rich of intelligent people, because we are able even to navigate in different languages, as opposed to you guys, you are just here speaking English.
That would have been fun. I would have loved to be there. I think I thrive in such circumstances. Okay, then you
Yeah.
come back now. Sports Commission accepts you back, or there's still a bit of a misunderstanding?
No. What happened when I finished? I kept updating them, of course, because you do your humanity module or course in England. We move over to Italy, Desta Bocconi University, where you do the sports management. When I was doing now the sports law in Neuchâtel in Switzerland, and I told them we'll be graduating in June and I'll be coming back home. They say, no problem, your position is not filled. We only have a temporary someone. You are more than welcome to come back. Because it was agreed that I go and come back. No one would deny you the opportunity to really excel in the field in which you have just taken up.
Yeah, I mean, you've gained some experience as well in terms of the learning.
Of course, and we were sharing. Sometimes I see this, I say, hey, boss, we learn about this today, and it's a good for useful knowledge for our work that we do. So sports law was the module I passed very well. And I was given a case because you really do practicals. I was attached to UEFA for a few weeks where you do a simulation of many items in terms of sports management and sports law. They challenge you with cases. And I was given a case of Kester Semenya, if you know that she once came to court arbitration of sport,
Yes.
where we go and really witness on the ground. And on the side, as you have a real legal personnel and judges that need to decide on these cases, you must do yours on the side. And my case, given my judgment, was different because I defended the person to be a human being and to be respected in whatever issues that they have, and not to be opposed, as you have transgenders that are allowed to, especially in Olympic sports, to compete in a gender of where they have changed to. And it was seen as a very controversial case, and my lecturer really understood and gave me 99% of marks. So when I came back, Sports Commission said, no, it's okay, we'll take you back. Then I started. By then I've done an interview at FIFA because theoretical part was done. But now you needed to do practical on a day-to-day basis. So as I just arrived a few days later, FIFA called and I was in online interviews every now and then. You get interviewed by 5 different departments, everybody seeking what they want to know from you. And I got in and I had to go back. So I negotiated with FIFA, please, I just returned and I just started, can I please stay here and only come next year to continue with this practical part? Which was also understood by both parties, and I went back for the year to go and really now experience as an intern to supplement my education. Yes, so 2020, COVID year, it was very entertaining and knowledge gaining from the people I've worked with, just, having this experience of FIFA. And also by then, at home there was no football happening, as you also know that we have gone through a lot of normalization committees. And Infantino always called me, hey, Namibia, come. Your country have this and that and that. Can we sit down and hear from you? But you are just one tiny individual. They just test whether you know something. And they will go to all other departments, legal, member association, professional football, because issues were about leagues. And they would find their knowledge and they would share. But yes, all in all, it was good, and I was allowed to go. And for me, I just cherish this experience that I've gone through. And it's because of the football journey that have taken me to get there. And as soon as I finished, I came back 31st December. I landed back home to continue with my task.
And did you continue with the Sports Commission job?
Definitely, yes. I continue with the Sports Commission job until I left them for the NFA position when I got it.
Which year was that?
December 2023.
2023. So you've been there for give or take two and a half years?
You would say I joined Sports Commission.
The NFA?
Yeah, the NFA, yes. It's two. This is my second year.
I don't know what's going on with me, guys, today, but I have water. But let's continue, it's fine. Now, Beauties, when does your journey with Beauties, not start, but restart? Because remember, you played for them,
Yeah.
and because of work and school, you know, in overseas, when does it restart now?
Marco, my journey never ended. It has always been a part of me. It's an extramural activity that I've taken up, and I've, upheld this activity throughout my journey. Being in Okahanja and playing for Okahanja Beauties, as it was known, I've made sure that that part of my football career continue as a player. I would train with the likes of, it used to be Spoilers, under Congo Hinjo and others. I would train with the boys, and I would travel to Windhoek over weekends to come and play my football matches. And in this team, we're together with the two Jackies, and I think Shipanga first left to form JS Academy, and we remained. Later on, Jackie Herste formed Girls and Goals Football Club. I decided this club is not going to die. It's the only club I have ever known. It's the one that have given me a platform to really compete in a team sport. So 2015, I called everybody that have been playing in the team and say, guys, let's put ourselves together and just continue. And we did that. Of course, some senior players, they left. They went to JS Academy. They moved with Jackie. Others remain. And we just continue to rebuild.
How tough was it, the rebuilding?
It was very tough, to be honest. It was very tough because then you needed to coordinate, and issues of finance keeps coming in. But of course, I was fortunate to have a very big space in Okahanja where I was staying. And I would have players travel from mostly the districts of Ochozonjupa. They would travel to my place. We train there. For those that don't go to school, others, we wait until they join us on Friday. And Saturday morning, we take off for Windhoek and play matches and go back. You just put them in hikes and they go back. And you do that from your pocket because we have a problem with the Namibian community. They don't come on board
to support sports.
They don't buy soccer boots for the girls. They wouldn't buy any other equipment that are required. They expect you to provide everything when you are just a parent like any other parent. So sometimes it's a question of, most of our talents come from difficult backgrounds. And for that, yes, one accepts, but it has not been easy.
So how is it now that you have brought it up, in terms of the challenges, especially families supporting children, whether it's disadvantaged families or families that are able to support them? Compared to your times when you were young growing up, were your parents and other girls that you played with, were they supporting you guys buying you boots, as compared to now where you had, at this point in time, you have to buy soccer boots for roughly maybe the whole team? You have to make sure they've eaten food, they have toiletries. When they get injured, they are taken care of. What is the difference if you have to compare?
Marco, in our days, you don't really need to have proper shoes to play football. Even barefoot, you are allowed to play in the league. But for now, a referee will give you a red card if you don't have shin pads, if you wear wrong tight. I mean, we are ladies. Sometimes you might be on your periods and you don't have that color that your team uses of a tight for you to wear a base layer under. And we did not worry about those things because it was not compulsory for us. For now, the game is becoming technical, is becoming professional. And you need to uphold the standards of this professionalism that the journey that we are walking into. So there are those who support, but I tell you, from a black community, many parents do not support. You would
But why
play
is it
games, you would go to NFA technical center over weekends. How many families do you see? You find young boys and girls and youth or men and women coming alone. It's a different setup when you are in Europe. You see that I was fortunate to live close to Leicester Field. It's a walking distance for me. But each time you go there, you see a family unit
Going to support
going to support or to watch a football match. It's a different case in Namibia. Why is it that a mother, father, and children cannot stand up and go as a family and sit down and watch? You would rather see young people coming to even a national team wearing a Manchester United t-shirt instead of wearing a national jersey. We are so unpatriotic. We don't follow rules. And we want to say we are good. But those who support, yes, they do. But there are many a times we need to really step in. It's not a question of choices. We should also understand the lifestyle that we live here. We should understand the income gap. We should understand all these issues surrounding our environment in which we find ourselves.
How do we change that mindset to say, let's change our people's mindset, let them support local. Instead of wearing a Manchester United jersey, let them wear a Beauties jersey.
Number one, you should not compel people to wear a club's jersey when it's not even available.
So the clubs must make the jerseys available first.
Whether it's a club, whether it's a football association, we need to make these things available. Then once you make them available, you can now, put up laws. You are seen coming to a match in a particular shirt, you don't enter. Whether you bought your ticket, let's send you out. Let's be patriotic.
Or you pay more at the gate. But paying more is not teaching a person to be patriotic. If you are with us, you be like us. If you want to support us, join. You cannot live in a house where you can't follow the rules of that house. You could only do that. So first, let us make things available. Once they're available, let us make them affordable. And let us also ensure that they are good enough for people to wear. Don't just go and buy me a cotton shirt when I'm at a football match and I'm sweating. Everything must be right. And before it goes to the end user, it starts with the creator. Yes, and for family units, sometimes you need to improvise, to be smart enough to create certain packages to say, when you are this, it's that. But do our families understand the importance of supporting our own in these sporting activities?
Our families only fuel things when they hear you win money, and now that's when they come in and they want to get money.
So it's all about money.
When you hear, no, these players are not paid, then everybody has a comment on it. But when that player was being built up, you have to provide transport fees, you need to provide accommodation at times,
Toiletries.
You need to provide toiletries, even other things that are out of your reach or out of your area. No, we don't have electricity at home. I have a baby, she doesn't have nappies. That is not my issue.
Your problem.
That is your own family issue. But because you need this player or you need this individual to excel and perform in the domain in which you connect with this individual, you need to step in. So there is a lot. Everything is a mindset. Everything starts at school. If we start educating people now, I don't want to create debates because sometimes people tell you a man cannot wash clothes. A girl must do it. You mess something up, you need to clean it up.
Yeah.
It's a life chore that everybody was supposed to know. It's a basic life chore. You need to learn to cook for yourself. You need to learn to wash or to clean up so that once you mess up, your items are very well neat. Because it's a health issue. It affects you in so many ways that you need to live life better.
Do you think there is political will to support the girl child in Namibia in sports? From your experience, having worked in the ministry, now you're having your own club, having been a player yourself, having been a student, and now you're at NFA. Is there really political will to say, yes, we want to support the girl child?
For quite too long, I would say that there has been a girl child has been a lip service type of task that many use.
I think I agree with you 100% there.
Because many people will go out there and say this, and when it's time to act, it's different. But also being in these positions, or having been in these positions that I've been, at times you'll also look at it from a different angle and understand really that to say, look, the will is there, but maybe the resources are not there. Now, if the resources are not there, we need to compromise. And when we compromise, we say, what is our key priority to get? For example, ever since I've joined the NFA, you have never heard of women's games are cancelled because there are no funds. It have happened in the past. But what drove this idea or narrative to be passed? The will is there. Are the resources there?
And the actions.
Yes, but before the actions are the resources there. Because sometimes the actions are caused by the resources.
By the resources, you're right, yes.
Yes. So is it better for me, if I am the head of an institution, to send a female team as opposed to the male team? Because I must also look at what put us on the map and how much resources will we gain if this team competes as opposed to the other team. Look at us now, Champions League. You have heard how much the men are getting.
Yes, yes.
CAF level.
Yes.
But the women have nothing.
I was reading it in the papers today, yeah.
Women have nothing. There is no financial support from CAF, but these are all CAF Champions League competitions. The only time they get is when you win the zonal, and then you perhaps need to go to the continental one. Then you will get that financial boost. But the question is, will it be the same amount as the others? No. But it doesn't end there. Brave Warriors went to AFCON. That participation fee that comes in is different, or it's not comparable to the participation fee of the female team. We need to face reality. We are now not saying women are discriminated. No, the proportion measures of things are different. But if you have never been through certain environments for you to understand this knowledge, you will think that people are discriminated. Yes, there are instances where they could be discriminated. Why is this team being given this attire and the other team doesn't have? That's one example. Why would a girl child play just as long as you have one shot, but the boy child have 3 shots? All in good order. For me, that one, there's no excuse. But when it comes to issues of participation, finances, we also need to understand. Other teams might get a sponsor here and the other teams don't have. So if I have a sponsor and you don't have, we can never get equal, even if you are the same gender. So these are things that we need to understand. So yes, to answer your question, I just elaborated that it could have been a lip service for some years, but there is improvement in that regard, and we must also understand that these decisions are caused by certain factors that mostly involve resources and everything else that come from it, those benefits.
Yeah. How difficult is it to run a women's football team in Namibia in the Super League?
It's extremely tough. You know, at Beauties, at Beauties, we run a club out of your own pockets. You are the most poorest person if you are involved in managing a club in this country. The most poorest person. You would go home and drink water and go to bed while other people are dining out. That's what it means, because you don't only have your mouth to feed, you have many other to feed. So let's take it like this. Is there any club in this country, female club, that have a sponsorship?
I would say 1 or 2. Ongos. and maybe arrows. From my knowledge, which
Yeah.
is not...
Exactly. We would
yeah.
say maybe because nothing was ever spelled out to say, you do hear when Arsenal get a sponsorship from Adidas or from
Yes,
Emirates or from anywhere. You know that it's written, it's X amount.
yes.
But it doesn't happen here. It doesn't.
Everything is secret.
So,
yes.
from Beauty's point of view, we have never had a sponsor in our career to date. We never received one, despite the electric performance, 13 titles to our name, 0 sponsorship. So when you don't have any assistance, and the only assistance you have is from those that are running the club. So we are a team of individuals that are together running this club in different capacity. You are the president, you are the head coach, you are the chairperson, you are the whatever coach, and we put our resources together to say, I have 200, I have 5, I have 2,000, let's put it together. Let's make sure that we give our girls the little that we can at our level. So supplement those that need help. They are coming from different backgrounds and homesteads. We don't know who ate dinner last night, and tomorrow you need to ask somebody to run on that flank and they cannot, and you don't know their problems. So for you to be able to try to strike a balance, you provide taxi fares or pick them up with your petrol, your kilos go up. You need to prepare pre-match meals. You don't want somebody to play on a hungry stomach.
Yes.
You need to provide supplements of whatever sort that you can afford. And you might not do the modern gym where you want them really to pick up that upper body strength that they need. And you just do whatever you can do at your level from your pocket. Nobody else. Here we are going to Champions League. We have been appealing in all sorts of media to say, please assist us, whoever is willing to come forward. Once you read what we put up and your heart moves, whether it's 200, can you just deposit it on this account? Results are shocking.
There's no support.
There is no support from a Namibian community. Of course, we receive from 2-3 individuals, but we are 3 million in this country. Not even 10 or 15 people could do that. That's when you also realize, who are my friends in my circle? Because it starts at home. If your family or friends cannot support you, and those parents who are connected to these athletes within your team, and those supporters that they say that they support you, it's worrisome.
So there's a contrast here. As you're speaking, I'm seeing a contrast. The Brave Warriors have been appealing for funds, and last time I think they raised 800 and something thousand for the World Cup qualifiers, and you're saying it's close to nothing that you have raised through this appeal. How do we then now change the mindset of the people to say, Beauties, they are going to represent Namibia as much as the Brave Warriors are representing Namibia?
They are going in a capacity of a national team, and this is a club.
But you are representing Namibia at the end
Definitely
of the day.
we are, but it's a mindset, as you put it, because a mindset here, many might think that is a club that denied us a league title, that is a club that have beaten us, we could have gotten X number of points, that is the club that drew with us and we couldn't go further to claim this victory. There are many things. But a national team it's something different that I wouldn't want to compare myself with. Also, the marketing strategies are different. Resources to execute these strategies are also different. Nothing is stopping us, of course, to have done what the Brave Warriors campaign team have done. But we just feel, look, the space is here. Let us leave it for Brave Warriors. We are not at that level. Brave Warriors want to qualify for the biggest event that the world can ever put center stage. And the outcome, if they qualify, will even benefit the competition in which we are going to play. For others, of course, ours would have passed already. But for whoever is next, that potential is there. So it's not comparable, but yes, if one can think and just say, look, it's in the end, it's your private money. You need to decide what you want to do with it.
Yeah,
So if you want to share it, and now that I'm on this show, I'm also waiting to get your contribution to our support.
No,
It's how people want to spend their money. They have worked hard for it, but it doesn't take away our voice to say, please, we are still seeking as we plan to depart.
Obviously, you have a budget to run a club on a monthly basis. How much roughly does running a Namibia Super League team, women's team, how much does it cost? You know, on a regular month where you are going to play 4 or 8 games over a weekend, training, meals, transportation, accommodation, medicals, etc., etc.
Marco, these numbers you will not be given them to say it's $10 because it's really difficult.
Let's say you are going to the north. You are going to play a match in Oshakati and another one in Rundu.
I can just assure you to say that for you, just to, number one, you don't have a dedicated transport of your own. You need to hire transport that you are taking off their daily routine for them to accommodate your problem. And the only bus you can afford, if it's an Iveco, at least have about 25 to 30,000. That is only for the trip. You still have accommodation, plus minus. You sleep in a place where you put players in a Airbnb where they pay 500 per room. Perhaps this will be 10, 12 double rooms and individual single rooms for your officials. So again there, try to have more or less the same amount of money, if not 16,000. Then you add meals. This is only for one trip for you to go and play there. Now for this bus that you are keeping idle, for the duration of this time that you are there, it will also charge you that extra fee because I'm just standing today, I didn't work. Yeah? And then you add issues of medical and supplements. So all these items will cost you just to go. I mean, we just played the PST Bet Cup last year, NFA PST Bet Cup. Even though they were trying to subsidize, you have heard what the clubs were complaining about. As much as I play this, I still need to pull from my pocket. In all this, there is no allowances for athletes. That's why most players are not paid.
So
not all clubs,
women footballers.
Not all clubs are paying players. Even our male counterparts, you do read about them. We don't know whether it's lies or whether it's true, that they were not paid their promised allowances, and some of these things cause imbalances. So those figures cannot come because what we do now, we work the minimal assistance that we can give. It's not what they deserve. Because what they deserve, maybe our economy can also not afford
it. From the top of my head, I think a one weekend away to the north will cost you plus minus 50K.
50K.
And you need to do 2 of them a month. So that's 100K a month. Just on away matches.
There's promotion and relegation coming, so you don't know where these teams are going to come from. You might travel 4 or 5 times.
No, I'm just saying, you know, you'll have also 2 weekends that you're playing at home.
Definitely.
We haven't even incorporated them.
Definitely.
So give or take 200,000 a month, just at the top of my head. That's a lot of money to come from somebody's pocket.
Yes, that's why you need to find smart partnerships. Some are those ones that offer transport, some are those that offers accommodation. You also need to have players with humility that will understand to say, look, we cannot do Airbnb. We can find this structure and just get in there. So everything in the end need to really just merge in, and then once they are embedded together, it's easier to navigate. No, but it is tough. It's not something easy, and one need to understand this is a passion. But when you see that player, which I have groomed and struggled to stay with, representing the national team. And then we have all sort of excitement and commitment, but in the end, the clubs are suffering. This is why FIFA would pay the clubs when these players are competing in a World Cup. Maybe we need to do the same. If I have X number of players in the national team, can I be compensated or not compensated? Can I be assisted, because I'm also assisting this noble cause of the nation?
I think it will be a good incentives for clubs to actually produce even more quality players, because they know that when those players go to the national team, something comes into their pockets, even if it's not exactly what they would have invested in. And now, going to the Champions League, how much do you guys need at this point in time?
Before I answer the question of how much, Champions League it's a competition of a different level. Of course, it's a champion of each country that is coming there ready to fight, and some don't even come with their real players. They recruit to make sure that they are strong enough to improve their chances to make it to the final competition. And for you to have this, number one, if you are going to loan a player from another club, depending on the relationship you have, it might cost you. That's the first cost that you need to consider. And then you have a cost of the camp.
Okay, let's look at that first cost. How many players are you planning to get on loan from other clubs? Because obviously you will need them. I'm
looking at 4 or 5 or maybe 6.
6 maximum.
That will be my maximum, but yeah. I'm standing at 4 or 5.
4 or 5, yeah. Has the negotiations that have started already to say?
Indeed, yes.
How are they going?
For the 4 or 5, I think a surety was given. Clubs do understand our situation, and those mutual agreements are very key, and they have helped us a lot. There are those that are of a different opinion. Of course, you can't have everybody thinking the same way, even though they understood the good cause of things. As I said, nobody will always just like you. Jesus was on earth. People talked about him and accused him of things. So there are those relationships that you cannot count on, even though one need to think about the national cause of things. So, yeah. Okay.
And then the camp?
So you do have that, and then you do have a camp fee. A camp fee, it will include meals, it will include accommodation, it will include facilities, training grounds where you need to train, and sometimes transport for you to move to these training grounds if they are not in the area of your training camp accommodation. Then you come to other items, which is transportation for you to get to the venue where you need to go in terms of the host country. So you need to move from point A to B, it requires funding. Other than that, you need to look at what incentives do I give to these individuals who are really giving their effort and to sacrifice. Before even incentives, you need to plan for medical support. You need to run a lot of different tests as required by FIFA CAF for competing in this competition. The hospital will never give you this test for free. You need medical personnel that are qualified for you to be able also to access, to participate, or to access licensing for you to participate. Including technical staff, there are those mandatory requirements where you might not have and you need to hire them. So again, these are funds that you just keep adding together for you to go. Now, in the FNB Women's Super League, we won 250,000, which other clubs also got their share. Do you spend yours in 1 or 2 items and your players have nothing? This is a key question. Now, this is where now negotiations of league issues and winning bonuses need to be negotiated, and really all these aspects need to be put into account before one says yes, even though we are begging. Yes. So it's quite expensive.
In your explanation, you haven't even spoken about the clothes for the
Yes,
women.
that's another one, because you also need to follow regulations of the competition. In here, you are playing domestic and it's a league. You might only have 20 jerseys because you never signed 30 players. But on the other side, you are told you need to have number 1 up to number what it need to be in this. I mean, I'm not forced to put a printing on my shirt in Namibia, because for women football it's not easy. Today, my number X is having a different body shape, but next season is different, or the other one might, we are also mothers, might go and concentrate on family building, and then you get another player. So the figures and shapes are different. So for a women's club, it's not easy to always just put numbers there, because if I put number 2 on a shirt, which you need to come and wear, when I was wearing it and we don't wear the same size, when I'm small, it's okay. But when I'm bigger, it becomes a problem because I can't fit.
Yeah.
And the issue of buying every now and then, it's a problem. Order with me, Namra will get you. But who is producing in Namibia for me to be able to keep buying all these things? So attire are really, really a key issue. Uniformity makes things look perfect. But it brings this sense of identity and togetherness. And if it's not there, you don't look properly.
And you spoke about toiletries as well.
Yes, you need toiletries also to get there. So for me, attires, you need to start buying casual wear, appearance that you just appear, or travel wear. It could be a tracksuit or whatever.
Yeah.
And you still need the playing gear. And your playing gear need to be 3 sets of different colors. And in your league, you're only used of 2, and these 2 were also never enough. People are selling us here 15 set or 20 set.
20 sets.
Now I must buy the 20 sets times 2. So these are the difficulties that we face, and all this just putting on in monetary value. You could go to 600-700 just for you to be able to get everything. You are not flying. You need to go by bus. Because I can tell you that we have quotations of buses that are asking for 267 just to move from here to Joburg and back, because they charge you every day that the bus is standing.
Yes.
And it's not easy, but we are fortunate. Government came on board through the line ministry, of course, under the NFA, that have supported us to give us transport for us to be able to reach this point. But again, all other items remain to be borne by us, since the support from the community, the Namibian community, did not really come forth. And it's not easy.
How far, overall, are we with the preparations?
So far, so good. We can't complain. With the little resources we have, we tried our level best. As we say, we cannot do it at the professional level, but we do within our means. We have been training very well. We picked up a few injuries that are recovering, and we are hopeful and confident that these players will be ready, 2 or 3. And then the mood in the camp, it's also very good. We just had our last training match, competitive with the CBS boys under 19 yesterday. That is to give us the real test and run for our money going into this competition. Of course, we lost it, if I have to tell you, but for us, it was looking at other dynamics of the game, which we will work on for the next 2 days and our first days in Joburg.
What are the expectations going to the Champions League? It's the first time. What is the excitement? What are the expectations from the team?
For us, is to represent Namibia in a bravery manner, as we are known to be brave, and just to do well. We want to do well and inspire those athletes we are living at home, those young girls and boys that really love football, and those that might want to take a career in this game in which we find ourselves.
And in terms of lessons, what lessons do you expect to learn from this tournament?
Of course, a lot to learn from the experts that have been there and have done it before. those with that experience, just for us to tap from it. I mean, we are fortunate really to be in a group of great clubs. For us to measure really ourselves, is it only a Namibian thing that we can come victorious, or we can also upset this powerhouse that have been two times champions. Mamelodi Sundown is with us. Of course, we are playing our match number 3 with them. We would have loved it to be the first, so that they don't have time to study us as we play. But we were given Zescondola. But our expectations is to do well, to compete, to fight bravery, and to give them really a shock of their life, like the Gladiators have given Nigeria in 2006.
Obviously, there has been teams, or there's been a team in Namibia that has gone there. Have you knocked on their doors to just get guidance, or what is the relationship between you and Ongos?
No, it's a very healthy and well relationship. Of course, the moment we learn that we have won and we are going there, we have already started engaging to say, colleague, you were there. We will be preparing now to go. What were your challenges? What were your successes? And how do you advise us to prepare for this? This discussion we had already just prior to the ending of our league, for us to plan our way forward that we did, and we tap from them. Even also just knowing the clubs that they have played against, or those that we'll find there, because as much as we are in a tough group, we are looking into or working very hard to be able to qualify. There is a first in each group, and then you have the best runner-up.
Okay.
For us to be there. If we don't get there, it's okay. That's football. Sometimes you get in, sometimes you lose. But we really captured a lot of advice that we could get from them.
For people who would like to contact you and help you, how do they go about it?
Our numbers are on the poster that we have just shared. You could also assist
we'll
us
also put it on
to
the screen,
reshare
yes,
it again. Our email address for the club is there. There are many dedicated individuals, officials that will be able to assist. There are contact numbers there as well for anyone going through a challenge. We understand many people do not want to go into, let me just open my banking app and pay in this amount. It's a long process. Why can't I e-wallet, easy wallet? We apologize for not really making a link, just for one to make this payment. But for issues of transparency, it will be good that these funds just get into a team account, because that's what we also account to the association. That's what we account for compliance, and to avoid conflict of interest, that if something comes into my account. But for me, I know if it comes into my account via pay to sell, I'll be able to send it there. But how many other people will do it? And how do you know that I will really do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
And finally, maybe, what would be your message to Namibians as you embark on this journey?
Just vie for us, support us, let's stand together, give us a motivation to fight, give us a motivation to remain, and just rally behind the team. It is your team. These are individual girls. It's no longer Beauties. It's just a club representing the nation, but this is girls of the Namibia nation that are going to fight and will be known as Namibia. So let's stand together and let's just do this. Support us to do it.
Salome, thank you very much for granting us our time. I've always wanted to have you here. Unfortunately, I asked you to bring the trophy. You didn't. We would have loved to see the trophy. But next time when you come back, maybe we can have a seat and discuss the experiences, because it's vital that we share these experiences. You know, sometimes we think we know things, but we don't know. Like today, I really learned a lot about running a women's football club in this country. Thank you very much, Salome.
Thank you for having me. I promise I will not forget the trophy next time. We just feel that we had our time and we enjoy that moment. Let us bring the victories from this side, because it will be a great honor really to come back with one and be able to come and share with the nation what it's like to be there, especially for the next contender from Namibia that will be able to go.
That was another edition of Game Time with Marco. As we promised you that we'll be shining the spotlight on women's football. The first season, we didn't do that in very well, but this time around we are really striving to really get all the knowledge that we need to actually share with you. And I hope that you will enjoy the show as much as I did talking to Salome here. We'll be back again next time. Thank you and bye-bye.